So we're doing a ranking all the Sabbath albums here. So I might as well just start with, first. So these I officially got the new releases of the standalone Sabbath, Tony Martin stuff. I just got these like yesterday, but I unboxed them today, or should I say today's the 19th November, so like a while ago, as you see this. But yeah, I did a little bit of damage to this one because I was trying to fix it. Didn't go too well. But anyway, now we're going to be ranking all the Sabbath albums I love from least favorite to my favorite. And I'm pretty much going to go ahead and just say, this is entirely my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, don't watch my shit. That's just basically how I do things. So let's start with number 20. Yes, I am including The Devil You Know. So, Never Say Die. As much as I like jazz music, this is a horrible jazz album. This is a horrible album. What makes it on the bottom of the list is really just the song structure. I really don't like most of the songs. I think the title track's fine. Johnny Blades, and it's an interesting piece. And then Junior's Eyes is probably the best song on the album, in my opinion. And then pretty much all the other songs after that are really weird. Hard Road's really weird and all that. So my least favorite song on the album is Air Dance and Overdue. I don't like those songs. So I don't really like Never Say Die. Like, I've never really listened to it. I only listened to the CD since I only bought it. I listened to it only one time. That was in one sitting. So, least favorite album, Never Say Die. Number 19, Seventh Star. This is a horrible Sabbath album, but it's not a terrible album by any means. The only terrible album I do say is Never Say Die, but this is a terrible Sabbath album in many cases. I do think as a standalone release, it's not a terrible album, but I do think the idea it's called Black Sabbath is not really a good thing. So a lot of these songs are really off too. And for the Kill is interesting. No Stranger to Love is really just like a Motley Crue song, really. It's really like a Motley Crue melodic song, if you ever really want to call it that. Honestly, I really love the title track and Danger Zone. Those are my two favorite songs off the album. I think those two are really good. And Heart Like a Wheel is not a bad song, but it's whatever. Angry Heart and Memory is really just one song. Split the two. It's fine. This is the one with the reggae and stuff. I certainly do think that Seventh Star is one of the worst albums made by the band. So I can pretty much just say that this album could have been a lot better. I do think it could have been heavier, but at the same time, it wasn't meant to be a Tony Iommi. It wasn't meant to be a Black Sabbath album. So that's something I can forgive it for. Number 18, Born Again. There's something weird about this album that really perplexes me. This is Ian Gillan's only album, and I think Ian Gillan is one of rock's best singers, but honestly, Ian Gillan on a Black Sabbath album is not a good combination. My favorite songs off of this is Zero the Hero. Disturbing Priest is actually pretty good. The title track's not bad, it's just very mediocre. Hotline and Keeping It Warm are just really weird, and Trashed is not a terrible song by any means. It's not really something I care about. And one of my least favorite songs, if I had to name one of my top 10 least favorite songs, this is probably one of my top 5, Digital Bitch. I hate that song. This was Bill Ward's last album with the band. As you guys know, he didn't do 13. So, this album cover is also really terrible. Everything about this is terrible. The mix is terrible. Most of the structure is terrible. So this is the deluxe edition, which does have Smoke on the Water, so that's pretty cool. Smoke on the Water is not really one of my favorite songs either. The Eternal Idol is number 17. A bit surprising, but honestly, this is not a Tony Martin album, which is why it's so on the list. I don't like most of the song structure on it. The Shining's a really good song. You know, Hard Life to Love is okay. Ancient Warrior's pretty good. You know, the title track is really, really, really good. I do like the instrumental on there and Born to Lose. I honestly think Ray Gillen is a much better singer than Tony Martin. This was more Ray Gillen's album. Honestly, I feel like I said, I think when I did this unboxing, I did say this. If they just kept the Ray Gillen stuff and just mixed it all as is, this would have been one of the best albums ever made. But it's not by any stretch, you know. And here's the booklet. You know, it's really not a good album because it doesn't really fit that well. Like hearing Tony Martin sing in this album with all, like, you know, Eric Singer and Bob Daisley, it just doesn't really fit. It just doesn't really fit. Number 16. Who's not surprised this is still on the list? Okay. I do think the remix is pretty good. I do prefer the original, only because that's kind of really the one I really listen to the most. Nothing against the remix. The remix is fucking great, but I just prefer the original mix over anything. Also, it's a lot more original. This was really just this is really just like a retweak of it, but I still will listen to the remix. It's not a bad remix. I think it's one of the best remixes of any band. Forbidden is number 16. You know, like I said, Forbidden, could have been a much better album in my opinion, but hey, you know, I do think this is a really good. I think most of the songs are pretty good, underrated, I must say. There's not really a song on here I dislike, but there's not really a song I can say it's great either. The Illusion of Power is very gimmicky. Get a Grip's probably one of the best songs on here. Can't Get Close Enough's pretty not so bad. Shaking Out the Chains is okay. I Won't Cry For You is really. And then Guilty as Hell and Forbidden are really good. News Against It All, meh. Kiss of Death's pretty meh. You know, Rusty Angels and Sick and Tired, they're not bad songs. This is not a bad album. It's just, I don't know. It's not really something I put on a. No, I listen to it, but I honestly, when I buy the original mix, when I actually buy the original Japanese version of this, that's pretty much it. But I do prefer the original mix only because that's really the thing I got stuck with. So, number 15, Technical Ecstasy. Probably Sabbath's weirdest album they've ever made, by any stretch. I do like Technical Ecstasy a lot. You know, I think it's you forgetting that, huh? I do think Technical Ecstasy is a really great album. You know, it's just I listen to it and it's like, you know what? Like, I can understand it. You know, I will say It's Alright is a pretty good song. Backstreet Kids is a pretty good song. You Won't Change Me is really good. All Moving Parts Stand Still is probably my favorite song off the album. And the song that I really don't like the most is maybe Dirty Wind, but Dirty Wind's still a great song. I really still like that song. You Won't Change Me is okay too. But She's Gone, there's really nothing to say about it. You know, it's not terrible. But yeah, this is really the album that really started to cause, that really kind of caused the band to really splatter. So, number 14 is Cross Purposes. Yes, I do genuinely like Cross Purposes. But if I had to say, Cross Purposes and 13 are really the two most mediocre albums. This is actually next. They're pretty much mediocre albums in every way possible, but they're not terrible. You know, I do think the fact that Geezer Butler's in this album makes it much better than most of the catalog. But like I said, this is probably one of Geezer Butler's worst work in the band. Actually, I'm kidding. Those are Never Say Die and Born Again, with the mixture of Technical Ecstasy. So that's kind of really what I think of it. You know, I really do enjoy Cross Purposes. My favorite song off of here is Virtual Death. I do like Psychophobia. I love Virtual Death. That, you know, I really do like those songs. The rest of the songs are just standalone mediocre. But I will say, though, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle is not a good song for me. I don't really like it. But, like I said, it's whatever. 13 is number 13. My least favorite song by any iteration of the band is Zeitgeist. That's the worst fucking song the band's ever made. So, I really do think that this has really good stuff on it. I think many people don't really like it because there's no Billboard in it. I mean, that's the thing I dislike about it, but hey, it's not a bad album by any means. So my favorite song off here is God Is Dead. I like Dear Father a lot. I really love Dear Father. I also really do like the song, I really do like the song End of the Beginning. My least favorite song is Zeitgeist. And I will say, Method, Peace of Mind is very mediocre. It's probably one of my top 10 least favorite songs too. Nothing too bad about it. Number 12, The Devil You Know. Not a bad song on this album. Not a bad song on here. You have some of the weaker songs. I do think the majority of the album is a bit weak but it's also really strong, solid. It's also really heavy. I think this is like the most modern album that they ever made that was really good. And I consider this a Black Sabbath album. I think many people do, and I do consider it that way too. Because, it's Ronnie, Vinny, Tony Geezer, so, I guess that's something. But I really do like The Devil You Know and everything else about it. I think it's a great piece of music that people just don't like listening to. I really don't like. It's really gonna be a hard time to getting the booklet out, but I'll fix it later. But I might as well just show you here. This is the disc for it. Now, this is so hard to get out. Like, I really hate that shit. Like, when I did the unboxing of this, I really had a hard time with it too. I don't know if you noticed when I was doing it, but I had a really, really hard time with it. I don't know why it stays in a book like that for so long. I really don't get it, but my nails are so short too. There we go. Got it out. But yeah, here's the booklet for it. Took a while. See, this is why I hate that. That's why I hate that plastic cover. It takes a while to get out. But I don't have to open it again for a while, so I might as well just live with it. Like I said, Bible Black and Double the Paint's my favorite song. I really like Bible Black. If you really ask what's my least favorite songs on here, Turn the Screw and Eating the Cannibals. I don't like those songs. But number 11. Sabbath by Sabbath. Interesting, I'm actually putting it here because this is some of their best work. But yeah, there's really not a lot I can say about it. It's a really good post psychedelic music album. I really do think it's a great piece of music. My favorite song is really the title track and Sabracadabra. I really like the songs. But I will say, Who Are You? It's a weird song. Whatever. Number 10. Dehumanizer. This was one of my... If you asked me 2 years ago, this is one of my least favorite albums. But I really love it now. I really love Dehumanizer. TV Crimes is a horrible song. I'm going to say it right here. I don't like TV Crimes, but... I really love Computer Gods. After All the Dead's pretty good. One of my top 10 favorite songs from the band ever is every time I hear that song, I just get really, really ingested in it. Masters of Insanity is also really good. Sins of the Father. If you guys listen to Rusty Angels and Forbidden, it's really similar to Sins of the Father. It's really the same riff. But Letters from Mirth's okay, but I feel that Dehumanizer gets overlooked in some areas, but it's such a great album. So I really love Dehumanizer and everything about it. So number 9, Paranoid. The reason why it's so low on this list, it's repetitive. It's a repetitive album. I listen to it a lot, but I still listen to it. I can still listen to it in its whole entirety. There's no bad song on it. Planet Caravan's really good. The drum solo is really good. Rat Salad. Fairs Red Boots is pretty good. My favorite song off of here is Electric Funeral. and my least favorite song off of it is Paranoid. Not surprisingly. So, I really do like Paranoid, so just gotta live with Paranoid, I guess. So, but Iron Man is such a great song, like, that's really it. Number 8 will be Tear. I'm not number 8. My next album will be Tear. Yeah, number 8 will be Tear. Tear and Paranoid are kind of like in the same area for me in terms of whateverness, but I do like Tear. My favorite song off of here is The Sabbath Stones. My least favorite song off of here is Feels Good to Me. I hate that song. It's one of my least favorite songs of the entire record, of the entire catalog. But, I really do enjoy Tear and its continuation of Headless Cross, but also I really like it for its standability. I think Tear is such a great piece of music that people just don't like listening to. So yeah, this is Tear, and I will say it is. I got something on here in the back of this, just I don't know why, but I really do enjoy Tear. And if you guys want to get into the Tony Martin stuff, I would recommend you listen to Tear. Let's listen to Tear, But, and yeah, here, by the way, before we do anything, here is the booklet for it. You have to see the booklet, So here's Tear. Number 7 will be Sabotage. It dropped. It was number 2, and now it's number 7. I just feel, I've just begun to enjoy more albums more than Sabotage, which is fine. I mean, honestly, these two are kind of interchangeable, but will be next. But I really do still think Sabotage is one of their best work. It's one of their heaviest work. It's probably their second heaviest album after Dehumanizer. So, nothing's spectacular. I mean, my least favorite song off of here is Super Tsar. It's a whatever. But my favorite song off of here is Symptom of the Universe, and I also like Am I Going Insane. Megalomania is probably my favorite song off of here. So, this is really on where they did a lot of long compositions, correct? So, number 6 will be Mob Rules. Mob Rules is really a great piece of music. I think the fact that they had this is actually like the first time where they had actually another musician instead of a singer, and it's really good. I really enjoy, Vinny Appice. So, but yeah, I really love, Mob Rules. My favorite song off the album is The Sign of the Southern Cross. And I also dearly enjoy the song, I dearly enjoy, Voodoo and Turn on the Night. Or Turn Up the Night, I mean. And I really think it's really good. But, the second half kind of flatters a little bit over and over. It's kind of weird, but, nothing too bad about it. Number 5, Headless Cross. I love Headless Cross. I remember the first time I heard this when I was 18 years old. And I put it on, and I remember just saying, what the fuck is this? This is great. Like, why do people hate this shit? It's a good thing that many people really like this album more now than back then, because many people didn't really know this existed. They didn't care. They were, like, watching Metallica or Guns N' Roses or something. But no, this is just peak. This isn't really peak Sabbath, but it's peak Sabbath when they were not known, right? Because, when you really look at it, what was the last album that they genuinely made as a whole band? Mob Rules. Born Again and Seven Star were meant to be albums, and Eternal Idol almost never happened. But this one was really the one where they said, buy your shit. So, I really love all the songs on here, but I will say my least favorite song off of here is Black Moon. Whatever, it's a really whatever song for me. That's really the song where I'm like, okay, it's a bit whatever. So yeah, I really do enjoy Headless Cross. So, really glad I have the official CD version of it now, the reissue. I'm glad that all these 4 albums got reissued. So, number 4, Black Sabbath Volume 1, the one that started it all. Honestly, I'm very mixed with this. I am gonna get the European version, but I'm gonna say this right now. I love the title listing of the European version. but I do think this has a better set list because Wicked World's a better song than Evil Woman. Let's just all admit it. So, you know, but Evil Woman is my least favorite song on the album. So, you just gotta forget, you know. So yeah, I really do enjoy the first album. It's something I would listen to a lot. I would take an Dozen Island with me if I had to. So, number 3 is Heaven and Hell. Probably Ronnie's best work he's ever done. You know, I really enjoy Heaven and Hell. This is probably the very last album where the 3 musicians all play together, and then Bill left the band. So, but you know, I really do think Heaven and Hell is a monumental piece of music because it was competing with albums like, you know, Ace of Spades, and this is such a great piece of music. I really love Heaven and Hell and everything it stands for. So, Heaven and Hell. Number 2, Master Reality. Really great piece of work. No bad song on here. My favorite song is Children of the Grave or Lord of this World. My least favorite, well, I don't really have one because there's really no terrible songs in here, but I would probably say the Orchid thing. You know, I really like Master Reality and everything about it, so. But it's a close second to my favorite album, and my favorite album is Volume 4. If you just took away Changes, fuck it. That's really it. Changes is not a good song, but I will say this is a great album. Great piece of music. Everything all makes up for it. And, you know, it's just a great piece of music. You know, there's just nothing wrong with it, really, except for Changes. So, here is the results. 20 is Never Say Die. Number 19 is Seventh Star. Number 18 is Born Again. Number 17 is Dehumanizer. Not Dehumanizer, Eternal Idol. Number 16 is Forbidden. Number 15 is Technical Ecstasy. Number 14 is Cross Purposes. Number 13 is, 13. Number 12 is The Devil You Know. Number 11 is Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Number 10 is Dehumanizer. Number 9 is Paranoid. Number 8 is Tear. Number 7 is Sabotage. Number 6 is Mob Rules. Number 5 is Headless Cross. Number 4 is Self-Titled. Number 3 is Heaven and Hell. Number 2 is Master Reality. And number 1 is Volume 4. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy my video. And very soon, I will be doing the very first review of the band. And I will start with... No, not that one. See you guys soon.